Hello and welcome to AFCast. I'm your host Malcolm, and today I'm going to be talking about The Outer Worlds, which is a new open world action adventure video game. And it has a lot of survival aspects in it, like picking up loot and fighting against monsters and stuff like that. But about the game itself, the developer is Obsidian Entertainment. The engine was the Unreal Engine, which is a very popular engine. The publishers were Take-Two Interactive and Private Division. The artist for the game was Daniel Alpert, like the lead artist. The composer was Justin E. Bell for the soundtrack, which is amazing. And the platforms that this is available on is basically all of them. So Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PC. So yeah, you're pretty much able to get this anywhere. So the story of The Outer Worlds takes place on the planet Terra 2. At least that's where it starts off, kind of. But it's basically about a group of civilians that left Earth decades ago and became separated and stuck inside of cryosleep. And a scientist comes along and rescues you. And when he rescues you, you go through character customization. That's pretty much a lot like Fallout, where you upgrade like perks and abilities, like your body strength and everything like that. It's just not the same thing as the special thing that they do in Fallout. But it's pretty nice character customization. They have a lot of options. So yeah. But essentially, he used a certain substance in order to bring you out of cryosleep alive without killing you. And to free the rest of the people that were on your ship, which was called Hope, which I'm pretty sure is like thousands of people maybe, he needs more of that substance in order to start freeing more people, which is where your adventure starts off. So you get sent out of a drop pod onto a planet called Terra 2, like I said earlier. And this is kind of where you start off with a bunch of political and survival problems that you will have to deal with, essentially, and even have to decide the fate of some in order for you to get power to your ship to start making your way to other planets around the galaxy, which is really cool, by the way. I don't want to give too much information, but so like I said earlier, the gameplay is very Fallout-esque, and also the character customization and stuff. But the weapons are very similar, where you have like handguns, ARs, shotguns, all that stuff. And the aiming and everything like that is very similar. Not to mention that you get this kind of time shift ability because of your cryo sleep that gives you a very VAT-esque system, because it slows down time for a portion, and then it tells you weak points and what they'll do to people when you shoot them. So like if you shoot them in the head, you can 20% chance you'll blind them, or like a 15% chance that they'll bleed if you shoot them in the chest or something like that, which obviously depends on their armor and the type of weapon that you are using, because there are also different like types of ammo, like heavy ammo, light ammo, that type of thing, kind of like Apex Legends. So yeah, the fighting is also very similar, where you have some robots that are around like defending certain areas. Also, there's some mercenaries, which are called marauders, so basically the same thing, that are out around the world. And then there's also civilizations and stuff that you can talk to people, where there's like outcasts, and then there's also people who just live in like a general town that's like owned by some company or something like that. But there are also items able to be looted off of like carcasses and stuff, just like in Fallout. And that are also just found laying around, once again, just like Fallout. And sometimes this stuff can actually be illegal to steal, and you'll get like authorities and stuff after you, or people get mad and start shooting at you and stuff like that. So be careful what you take, and be careful who's around you that might see you take that stuff. I haven't tried to steal anything yet, but I don't know if it's like they just automatically know if you steal something. Or if they have to actually catch you in the act of stealing it in order for that to kick off. But essentially, you will start off with certain character stats, and you will build them from there. So every time that you level up, you'll get 10 skill points every time, and then you're able to upgrade various different things. And so, like, you'll be able to upgrade melee, ranged weapons, which, is, like I said, hand cannons, shotguns, ARs, that type of thing. You're also able to upgrade your defenses, which is like block and dodge, which are different things you're able to do to either block attacks or dodge attacks. It's exactly what it sounds like. There's also some dialogue things like persuading, lying, intimidating, that you can do to people when you're in dialogue in order to get information out of them, or even to like convince them to give you something or something like that. And then there's another one that is stealth, which is like will upgrade your sneak and your hacking / lockpick abilities in the game. And it's not the same as Fallout where it's like you have to actually do the lockpick yourself and you have to like use up a lockpick in order to unlock something. You just have to wait a certain amount of seconds in order for it to unlock, which is a lot simpler than how it used to be where, you'd have to specifically try to unlock something and end up possibly wasting all of your lockpicks just to try to get a bit of loot. And another thing that you can upgrade is tech, which this is like medical stuff. So, you get this inhaler that gives you a health boost and stuff like that. Or not a health boost, just gives you health in general. It's called a medical inhaler or something like that. So it'll give you better stats for that stuff. And then it'll also upgrade your science. And science has to do with your science weapons. And the science weapons essentially you'll get, and they'll do certain types of damage and attacks. So like they might do plasma damage or electric damage or something like that. And each one of those things have different effects on people that you'll be able to read on the weapon itself. I'm not going to go through all of them because it can get complicated. And then the last one for tech is engineering, which basically allows you to just repair items for cheaper, because you will get like armor parts and weapon parts and stuff like that you are able to actually use to repair your armor and weapons. I don't think there's any crafting ability in the game. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there's just repairing and finding items in the game. So yeah. And then the last thing that you can upgrade is leadership, which just has to do with companions and like how much health they have, how much like determination they have and stuff like that, like how well they lead and whatnot. So yeah. So another thing that you are able to upgrade is your perks. So you're able to upgrade your stats like health, armor, accuracy, etc. And there are tons of perks. There are 3 tiers. In order to get to tier 2, you need to have unlocked 5 perks in the row above. In order to get to tier 3, you need to have unlocked 10 perks total in the 2 rows that are above that. So pretty straightforward. And each one of them just do different things, give you different abilities or boosts, anything like that. Obviously, I'm not going to read them all off because there are a lot of them. But yeah, just look through yourself, or even just look them up, because there are a lot, but it won't take you long to read through. Another page that is in your like inventory type thing is details. And this is just your character details, like your stats, your current stats and stuff like that. And then there's also a reputation page that shows what your reputation is with each group within the world. So whether or not you're neutral with them, or if they're like aggressive towards you if they see you, or if they like give you stuff if they see you because they think you're good towards them and whatnot. And obviously you'll never be able to be on the good side of all of them because some of those areas are against each other. So you will get into some pretty complicated stuff of whose side you want to be on, essentially. And that's kind of the political and survival mess that I was talking about on Terra 2, because you encounter that almost immediately into the game. You also have your inventory that you can deal with, which allows you to equip 4 different weapons into your weapon wheel that you can easily switch to by holding Y. Otherwise, it just cycles through the 4, which can take a while if you're trying to get to something. And I've already made that mistake on my YouTube video a lot, where just I'm trying to get to another weapon, and instead of going to the wheel, I just scroll through all of them by just spamming Y, basically. But you're able to equip 4 different weapons at a time on the weapon wheel, and you can switch them holding Y, like I said. And then I'm pretty sure you can also add modifications onto the weapons, but I think you have to be higher than what I'm at right now, because I have gotten some weapon mods and stuff like that, but It looks like I can't just yet, so maybe I have to do that at a workbench. I don't know. I haven't tried it out yet, but maybe you guys will find out. And then you also have a slot that allows you to have body armor and a helmet. And then you also have consumable items like health, food, drinks, drugs, anything like that. That'll give you different boosts or stats, maybe even debuffs, honestly, if it's anything like Fallout. There's also modifications, like I mentioned. There's another page in your inventory that has like the parts that I mentioned that allow you to repair items and possibly even craft if that's a possibility in this game. And also you'll be able to, in the next page over, you'll be able to find items that are specific to your quests, like passcodes and notes and stuff like that. And then the next slide over is just junk. So just random items that you find that aren't useful for anything. You also have a journal page that shows you all of the quests that you're currently enrolled in, I guess, and everything that you've completed, all the quests that you still need to do, everything like that. It doesn't tell you quests that you haven't found yet, though, so you can't go and select those things. And then there's also a codex, which has a bunch of stored information and hints about the game that you will get throughout the game. And so if you ever want to return to it because maybe you stopped playing the game for a couple weeks and forgot about something, then you can go through the codex and find out how to do it without trying to look it up on the internet and stuff like that. It's a good in-game source if you ever forget how to do something, essentially, which is really nice. You also have your map. And you are able to fast travel, but besides that, it's just kind of walking around and stuff like that. And I will say that the terrain is very well designed in this game, and everything looks absolutely amazing. Like, if you look up into the sky, you can see, different planets and, this cool, aura of something. I don't even know. But there's also really cool animals, even though most of them attack you, and plants and etc. And then you also have your companion, which I mentioned earlier. You can upgrade, and you can give them certain weapons to use from your inventory so that way they can use them during a fight. You can also order them what to do. You can give them armor, upgrade their perks, change their behavior for in and out of combat, which is really nice. So yeah, and there is a lot more to the game than just that, but it's just a bunch of small things that kind of add together in the gameplay more specifically. And then the story is kind of you find out as you go, but the main purpose of it is that you need to essentially get this substance in order to free the rest of the people that were in your spaceship, which was called Hope. And yeah, but the gameplay was amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. The game looks beautiful. Sounds beautiful, obviously, because of the soundtrack as well. And I give this game an 8 out of 10. The reason I give this game an 8 out of 10 is because Fallout games for me have always been a little clunky when it comes to movement and combat. And so I kind of feel the same vibe in this game. It's just not smooth enough for me, which is fine. I mean, I still play the game because, the story is great. It's hilarious in some cases, and just really stupid. Not stupid in a bad way, stupid in a good way. But yeah, so my overall review of this game is a good 8 out of 10. But yeah. Make sure you check out our Instagram and Twitter, also our Discord if you want to talk to us or other people about certain games that we play. And also make sure you check out our website, which has just a bunch of collection of different video game channels and podcasts and stuff like that you can check out. And then also make sure you check out DJ Augie because he is the one who made the music for the beginning and end of this podcast. But besides all of that, game on.